It's that time again where we're going to review the top rated designs on our subreddit. If you haven't posted your work already, click the link below and you can be featured in a video. Let's start with this one, logo design for Wild Grove, a fictional company. Okay, so you're selling organic soap. The color here, everyone's going for this magnolia color nowadays, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's cool. I like a bit of magnolia. I love the mock-up here, and I think the way that you've presented this is the reason why people love it so much. If you present your work as what it will look like with the correct markups, correct lighting, or even if you can take the photograph for yourself, then the work is going to look 10 times better because a logo is always meant to be seen on something in context. So I love this. It looks organic. This thing here, I'm not sure it's like one of those plants that you see in a bog. Love the use of the packaging here. Oh, you've got all these cute little natural illustrations. This line artwork is really consistent all the way throughout as well. I love the fact that every single illustration here has the same monoline weight. And the great thing about having patterns like this that I think a lot of young designers may not know is that when you don't see the logo and you see something that uses the same visual language, such as the weight or the color or the sizing, then people will smell the brand before they see the logo. The logo is just one part. Everything else signals towards the rest of the identity. And here you go. Love it. Good use of like the pink. It's very mellow. I love it. You've got that really nice serif typeface there that goes really nicely with the kind of Scandinavian outdoorsy sans serif there. I love it. This is great. What a way to show this. You should have a real portfolio. You should link that in somewhere maybe. Someone says here, my honest opinion is that it looks good, but I would get rid of the cattail in the middle. Maybe just another blade of grass. No, I like that. I think having that in the middle draws the eye towards the center of the design. A lot of the time when we're creating symbols, especially line art symbols, we draw the eye towards the center to create that balance. And I love that. And I think you've done a cracking job with that. Yeah, so well done. I would give you a high five if you were here in person. The next one is another monoline logo that was highly upvoted as well. It's for a yoga studio. So this kind of reminds me of the Mindscape logo. If you don't know, a couple years ago, actually about 4 years ago, we hired someone to create basically the logo and an app to show that you could do it all. But it looks like that logo. Every logo that's to do with yoga looks similar. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure. For me personally, I think we could go a bit different, but I do love, again, the way that you're presenting this, Belma Yoga Studio. I think having more mock-ups of where people will see the design would help you a lot. If you have, I don't know, a brochure, show the design on a brochure. If you have it on the shop outside, so if there's a studio, you'll have a sign outside, show it on the sign, give more context to it. But yeah, well done. Let's have a look at the comments. See, I like to see the comments. Very similar to most yoga studio logos. That's true. One of the hardest things you can do for a yoga studio or a business that has a very iconic look is to create a new style of logo, create something unique, because we instantly, when we see this, know that this is going to be some sort of like meditation or, you know, yoga studio. But if we were to create something slightly different or even a completely new icon, there may not be that relation to that idea. So it can be quite tricky to create a whole new unique logo. I've just seen this here and it's been heavily upvoted, the finals, based on a story by Dylan Connolly. This design here, the lettering with the woman with the axe in the middle of the A as the counter is what it's called. I love it. I think it's great. It's very Stranger Things, isn't it? But it's got this lovely texture all the way throughout. Oh my goodness. What's this? My role. For this project, I designed the visual identity for the horror film, The Final. The film tells the story of a group of final girls, survivors of various horror events. I love it. It feels, yeah, very Stranger Things, very epic. And I love how you've got part of the story within the logo type itself. Generally speaking, for movie posters or movie logos, logo types, you can go quite ornate with them because it is a bit more artistic in a way. It's not meant to be fully scalable because it's not going to be seen really anywhere else other than posters and on the TV in a certain aspect ratio or size. I love it. I had this font one time that I created called Woodland, and it looks like this font. It looks very, I don't know, rustic, smooth, feels like it's been carved out of something, and I love that. And the lettering here is just great as well. Oh, look at that. There's a lovely gif of how you did it. I love to see the process behind it, and this is a brilliant portfolio piece. Espiritu, okay, and Teenage Workbook. Yeah, nice. I love the typeface. spaces that you've used as well, and the color scheme, very much so. Something that you haven't talked about a lot is the textures yet. Where the heck did you get these lovely textures from? I love them. But the way that you've mocked this up, even the posters here, it looks great. Really nicely done. It's like that classic horror film vibe, isn't it? That is pretty crazy. Look at this. I could just sit here all day. Oh, that is scary. Probably can't show that though. This is great work. Oh my God. Honestly, I'm really, really happy with the design that you've created here. It just feels, it embodies the feeling of what this type of film is. I haven't seen it yet, but I understand now that it's going to be one of those classic horror films, like 1980s horror films. I love it. Stranger Things vibes, the color red all the way throughout. And the best bit is having the lady inside of the A. This video is sponsored by FreshBooks. Are you wasting precious billable hours chasing payments, wrestling with spreadsheets and figuring out what invoices have to be paid? Well, there's a way to simplify your bookkeeping and finances faster than you can even say past due invoice. Enter FreshBooks, the accounting and invoicing software that makes the hard part easy. With FreshBooks, you can bill clients and get paid twice as fast. Pay your team, manage expenses, create powerful financial reports, and keep your books all organized with a single platform. And right now, there's a brand new offer just for my subscribers. So head over to freshbooks.com/Will Paterson to unlock your exclusive offer now, or click the link in the description. Thanks FreshBooks for making this video happen. Okay, this one, Novel Nut, a logo and visual identity for an imaginary bookshop. I love these passion projects. What I love about this design is that it's one, hand lettered, I'm assuming. If that's a font, then it's a lovely font, but it looks very customized. I like that. It feels very innocent in a way as well. You've got the books here, you've got the lovely ornate text, and there's lovely ligature as well, going from the L down to the K. I really like that. The one thing I would change though is the N feels out of place with the rest of the letters. And I think that's because it looks too clean. You've got these really clean lines, and then you've got very unclean lines. So it feels slightly out of place. And if I may say so, I'm going to do this. Whoop. What I would do is I'd rotate the N to the right over here, because it's at a wrong angle right now. It's pointing upwards. So if I was to do an arrow, there is the line. And then here we've got another line. What we need to do is make sure that this is following the same line all the way throughout the entirety. And that's how we kind of grid logo types. And that can be quite difficult to do. But if you wanted to learn more about logo type design, I've got a course that I'll link down below that will teach you about that. But I do love the simplicity of this and how innocent it feels. Ooh, red again. Everyone loves the color red today. Obviously, you've got the book collection, the brand name, and the magical experience. I love that. Showing your clients something like this of how you came up with the logo type shows that you've made decisions throughout. You haven't just like shown them a logo and said, there you go. You've actually said, no, I've thought about this. It's got a book collection, we've got a name, obviously, and then we want a magical experience, so we've added some stars. It means that every creative choice has a reason that you can explain. Oh, you got some clear space there. I like it. The icon, if I was you, I wouldn't use the N. I would just use the book. The books are the most visual part of this that people will see. So I would always use the books as the icon. But no, yeah, I love it. I love all the mock-ups that you've done here. Again, with the icon, I would make it into the books. But the different compositions here really stand out to me. Yeah, well done. I like it. Oh, this is an interesting one. Cheeseloo. I've never heard of a clothing line called Cheeseloo before. It's a streetwear brand that combines the edgy style of denim with the imaginative world of anime. I love the logo type. Very, very interesting. A lot of character going on there. You can't really read it by itself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Knowing when a logo type should be legible or readable can be tricky. Legibility is about understanding it. Readability is being able to read the words themselves. But I would argue in this case, the Cheeseloo, I don't know much about anime, but it feels very gooey. The typeface feels very liquidy. I like that. It's got a lot of character. It's not really readable, but it's definitely legible. You can understand it. So I would argue in this case, it works really well. And plus, I love the mock-up that you've used. It shows it in so much context. I'm not an anime guy, but I know that I probably would buy one of these, or I would wear one if it was on my jeans. It would be so sick. I love the logo type. Full of personality. I don't see any crazy mistakes because it just feels like it works. It's got a really nice balance to it. And the cat, who doesn't like cats? I've got a black cat. He's cute. I haven't seen this post before, but it's like 4 years old. So it's Forest. It's an outdoor brand logo concept. Let's have a look. What I do like about this is I think that's supposed to be some sort of knife as well as a tree, right? Or rope. There's a lot of symbolism in this shape. It's very unique, but kind of familiar at the same time. So it's a tree and the letter F. That makes sense. I like that. I think this works better here with the icon up here. I wouldn't have classed that as an F because the crossbar or even the arm over here of the F doesn't come across in this icon here. It looks more like a survival knife or a piece of rope, but because of the colors that you used, it feels really natural as well. I love the way that you're presenting this too. It feels clean, modern, and outdoorsy. I think the only thing I would suggest is whenever you're creating an icon, what we look for, or what I've learned over the years of doing this, is if it's not very legible, don't put it as the actual letter in the logo type. That does nothing to help. There it looks like Lorist or Orist, not Forest particularly. But when you've got it presented like this, it's a lot easier for you to see, a lot easier for you to make it clean. I'm going to show you how to compose this logo in what I think would be better, because even though the icon and everything is really good, I think the sizing of things and the way that they're positioned could be better. So first of all, I'll take this icon, I would move it down here, and I'd make it a lot smaller. First of all, I want to try and grid it up next to Forest. I'm not going to do the whole gridding thing because that doesn't always work, but I'm going to put it here for now. And in fact, I'm just going to make a new layer for this to be on, if it'll let me. What I'm looking for is to get this icon to fit nicely next to the brand name. So when it's on a masthead of a website, like for instance, if it's up at the top left and really small, it's easily visible. So I'm going to put it up there for now to show you what I mean. That looks okay. So there's one way of doing it. The other way that I would suggest to do this is to just make the actual brand mark a bit smaller. When it's too large and it takes up too much of the screen, such as this, it just takes up too much space. It doesn't feel as elegant. The actual icon itself should just fit nicely within the design. And there's a few ways of doing that. You can kind of work it out by taking this box here and moving it up a couple of times of where it would be, and you could grid it up. So we've got it about right there. Everything wants to have a relationship with itself or the sizing. So that's what I would do personally. Make it smaller so you've got one that can fit on the masthead and then one that can fit in the middle that just has the right size of icon. If you enjoyed this video, press the subscribe button down below. Don't forget you can join our subreddit on here. We have 23,000 members. So if you want to be part of the team on here where you can upload your own work, get critiques, get some help, then go ahead, join. It's completely for free. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.